Imagine your phone rings. You look at the caller ID and it's your best friend, or perhaps your son or daughter. It's been a couple of days since you last chatted, so you are excited to take the call. You answer, and this is what you hear: uncontrollable crying. The type of crying where you suck in deep pockets of air that literally block all sounds from coming out for a minute or two. I'm talking about the cries of a person who is truly hurting, and your immediate thought is, what happened? Who died? Seriously, what besides death could generate such emotion? When the crying subsides enough for you to hear a somewhat audible sentence, you can decipher these words through the heavy sobs. Bill was just named the leader of my department. Huh? What? Bill who? Quickly you scan your mental Rolodex. Bill equals crying, Bill equals misery, Bill equals devastation. Bill Lumberg, the callous tyrant you used to complain about a few years ago. Baby, I'm so sorry. How did that happen? Okay, I have a confession to make. I made that exact phone call to my best friend many years ago. Can you imagine the amount of hurt, pain, and fear I was carrying that would make me lose it like that? Well, let me tell you about it. I learned that Bill Lumberg would be my new boss, and it completely devastated me. It generated a level of fear, angst, and pain, imagined suffering, and creative panic that I really can't describe. Just 2 years prior to that phone call, I had escaped Bill, shedding everything, including my husband, in an attempt to escape the misery of dealing with Bill and the environment he allowed to grow. Now I was in a new place. My energy had been restored. I had relocated. My divorce was final. My daughter was showing amazing resilience to the split. I absolutely loved my new role. I was rediscovering my happiness, pretty much living my best life and minding my own business and being good to people. So, how could this happen to me? Why hadn't someone figured out what a rotten person Bill was and forced him to resign? How was I ever going to survive this? Several days of depression, sobbing, and wallowing in pity followed that phone call to my best friend. I updated my resume. I cleaned up my LinkedIn profile. I assessed selling my house and moving back home to Louisiana to stay with my mom until I could get another job. Sadly, I was already thinking of my exit, and Bill hadn't even stepped foot in the department. Well, about day 5 into my version of the devil wears steel-toed boots, it dawned on me that I couldn't run. I wouldn't run. What was I running from? I loved my new job, my new home, and my new life. I refused to give Bill control over it. I resolved to walk into this unavoidable reunion in a position of confidence and power. Easier said than done, right? My goal was not only to survive the next few years, but to thrive. Well, here is where you get the benefit of learning from what worked and what didn't. There are some real things you can do to survive and thrive under the helm of a bad boss, and none of them require you to quit, leave, change positions, or go to jail. Self-reflection is critical. The first thing you must do is understand if you are really dealing with a bad boss. Is it a personality conflict, or is the person really a rotten human? Is the boss a jerk with everyone or just you? Consider what the general sentiment is within the team concerning the boss. If you notice that the boss's interaction is more agreeable with others, then spend some time assessing where the two of you are misaligned. Seek the counsel of an honest, trusted colleague who knows both of you, if possible, and get their opinion on where the conflict might lie. Be it work styles or personality types, in most cases, you will have to modify your style to accommodate the boss. I didn't say change who you are. I said modify your style. Being conscious of your interactions with your boss is critical. For example, Bill definitely treated me differently than the rest of the team. Was his treatment egregious enough for me to go to HR or the ethics line? No, I don't think so. That's not to say you won't have cases that will warrant intervention by a third party. However, You have to make that assessment. In either case, a reflective dive into why you and your boss don't mix is worth the time. Practicing mindfulness can save you. Incorporating mindfulness at work can be a game changer. It drastically lowers stress levels, which is critical when dealing with a difficult boss. Practice focusing on the present moment. This means not dwelling on what your boss said to you yesterday or worrying about what she might say tomorrow. Another mindfulness tip is to focus on your breathing. The next time your boss says something that's about to throw you into a tailspin, sit and practice deep breathing. Inhale through your nose, hold briefly, and exhale out your mouth. Repeat until you feel calmer. Simple exercises like these will help you keep your cool, allow you to look at things with a clearer head, and keep you from saying something you will regret. Build an influential professional network. Your influential network must include leaders who operate on the same level as your boss or higher. They are leaders who can effectively and credibly counter unfair or negative commentary about you that your leader might share with other leaders or hiring managers. How do you build your influential network? You build your network by getting engaged in volunteer roles, employee resource groups, attending company events, and leveraging existing connections that will help you expand your network. The goal is to establish genuine connections and interactions with influential leaders who, at a minimum, will think twice before sanctioning a disparaging remark concerning your character or performance. Make sure expectations are clear and documented. In many cases, having a bad boss can lead to you being put on a performance improvement plan, PIP. While a PIP is not desired, the clear and documented expectations similar to what you see in performance improvement plans can be very beneficial to you. Bad bosses often have selective memory, so getting agreement on expectations and documenting them are in your best interest. I recommend sending your boss a note following all meetings to say, "I was actively listening. I took notes, and here are the actions/agreements I captured." With your expectations clearly documented, the next step is to deliver. Your goal should be to exceed the minimum expectations. Spend more time with your bad boss. I know what you're thinking, that the last thing you want to do is spend more time with that person. However, looking for targeted opportunities to interact with your bad boss, especially in a non-work setting, will give her or him more opportunities to be relaxed with you and possibly see commonalities versus differences. Consider interactions such as regular one-on-one meetings, periodic project updates, short meetings to provide awareness or heads-ups on issues, informal social interactions or department outings. The goal is to eliminate his opportunities to come to you unexpectedly with a complaint, because you will provide him with plenty of opportunities to chat on your terms. Moreover, by spending more time with the bad boss, that eliminates opportunities for him to make up details about your work activities and wonder what you are doing. You will be overloading him with data and should target giving him details before he even realizes he needs them. Treat him or her like the boss you want them to be. For Boss's Day one year, I gave Bill a handwritten note and a cupcake. In the note, I thanked him for making me a better person, challenging my perspective, and forcing me to get out of my comfort zone. We had an unhealthy leader-employee relationship, yet all of those words were true. The energy behind his actions weren't necessarily good, but I chose to receive it differently. I was affirming in Bill the behavior I desired from him. I will not lie and tell you that my reunion with Bill was great, because it wasn't. Having a bad boss is demotivating and time-consuming. You often spend more time focusing on the person's behavior than delivering results. Every interaction with the boss requires 10 times the effort from you because of the overthinking, avoidance, and even fear. You get your work done, but it's hard. The great news is these 6 strategies really don't require a lot of extra effort. They work whether the relationship with your boss is golden or about to push you over the edge. Approach the bad boss the same way you approach a great one. It will not always be easy, but you will survive and in many cases, thrive.